Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereof, and welcome back to the World of Madness SMP. I hope we're all doing well today. I certainly am. I'm doing very well. Last episode, we did a few things, including, but not limited to, constructing the blacksmiths, and I have spent a few sleepless nights designing the smelter that is going to go in this blacksmith. Now, the upper infrastructure is technically here. All of this is going to act as storage, mostly on the upper floors and stuff like that. But if I come around the back and just drop down here, you can see I've dug a little bit of a hole. Now, this hole is where the super smelter itself is going. So the smelting array itself is going to go down here. And the smelting array is quite large, actually. I designed it in a test world, and it gave me a headache, I'm going to be honest. Whoever designed comparators is the devil. The devil themselves. Whoever designed comparators, I don't want to know. I don't want to meet them because if I meet them, I probably will strangle them because of the way they work. Because they work on an uneven number. And I don't like it. But that is beside the point. Yes. So, I've designed the super smelter. But unfortunately, I still need to put together the resources necessary to build it. And that includes 156 hoppers! Oh boy! 156! 156! If I didn't have an iron farm... I would be very worried. Thankfully, I do. Thankfully, I do have an iron farm. But yes. So that's what we're going to be putting together today. And without further ado, I'm actually going to get started on this because there is quite a bit of work to do. And I only have a few days to do it in. So yes. Let's get started. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have done some work. I've put together a box full of components over at the blacksmiths. But we also have something else. While I was working away, beavering away, gathering up the components for 156 hoppers and a bunch of concrete, these two cats spawned in the basement of the fish shop, in the basement of the fishmongers. And obviously, as you all know, cats on this server, the ones that I tame, are named after patrons. So in this case, we have Firebird and Zenither, who are going to be our new patrons in the cat cafe. Now it's just a case of moving them into the cat cafe itself. Which is easier said than done, in all honesty. Come on. No. In. Right. And you're going to take your place up there. And last but not least, I would have preferred to get an orange tabby for Firebird. I think the name would suit better. But a jelly cat is just as good, in my opinion. For those of you that don't know, this particular cat, or this particular style of cat, was added to Minecraft in a competition. And the cat itself, the skin is created based on jelly, which is Good Times with Scar's cat. I'm sure you all know that, but I thought just a little tidbit of lore for that. Anyway, we are going to get started on the blacksmith's super smelter. We're going to do that in the form of a third-person time-lapse, and after that I might decide to actually decorate it appropriately. As you can see, there's a great big glowing pink area over here. This is where the blacksmith is, the super smelter is going to go. The glowing pink is just the Lightmatica mod that I'm using to lay out where I want this super smelter to go. For those of you that don't know, I utilize Lightmatica in order to place schematics, in order to give me a visual of a schematic in a world. Anyway, this is all of the components that we need for the super smelter. I'm going to get to work, and you guys can enjoy this third-person time-lapse. All right. Now, the super smelter is done, sort of. I'm in the water. I need to get better at this. I need to get better at actually talking to the camera. The super smelter is, for the most part, done. We are missing one specific component, and that is the ice we need for the paths, for the water flows. So that we can actually get the stuff from the furnaces into the water pipeline that goes up into the house and then over and into the output barrel. So the way this super smelter is set up is actually fairly simple. Most super smelters are actually fairly simple when you think about it, but this one has a little bit of complexity that I hadn't realized would be quite as complex as I found out it was. So here is an item splitter. Now, for those of you that don't know what an item splitter is, it is a system that distributes evenly a set of items between two different outputs. So all of the smelting items go in through this hopper line here into this chest, and then they get split between that hopper and that hopper into this chest here and that chest over there. So that when everything comes down, it goes into that chest and then is split into these two lines of furnaces, which means that we can get double the amount of items smelted at the same rate. And this setup in total smelts about 32 items per smelting cycle. I don't actually know how long it takes to smelt a single item. But yeah, this does 32 of them at the same time. Now, another thing that this system needs to do is a certain amount of items need to go into these hopper minecarts before they can be let off the track. Now, in this case, we need 47 items in the hopper. But this system can only accommodate 16 items or 32 items. It can only accommodate multiples of 16, essentially. So 16, 32, 48, etc., etc. Which is why we have to put in 15 spruce logs into the hopper minecart so that it will fill up with precisely 32 items, and then it will go on this line. Now, the reason for the 32 items is because this line has 16 hoppers. So it goes across once, and then it comes back, and it deposits a total of 32 items into the system. And then when it gets back here, it'll accept another 32 items, and then it'll go again. That's why we need these 15 spruce logs in here, so that the hopper minecart actually fills up with 32 items instead of having to fill up with 47 items. Now, technically speaking, the hopper minecart only needs 46 items before it leaves the station. But the reason that it goes off at 47 is because this hopper will always deposit an extra item into the hopper minecart before it leaves. So that's why we need 15 spruce logs in here and not 16 or 14, one of the two. So yeah, that system is actually really quite complicated. It's using comparators in order to compare the amount of items that are in this hopper minecart to the amount of items that are in this hopper back here. And it's actually quite complicated. And I can tell you it's quite complicated because I spent probably 3 or 4 hours studying up on how hoppers worked so that I could actually build the system properly. Now, the last thing we need to do is go over to Kuth and Drad's base and steal some more packed ice, because I don't have an ice farm, and Kuth and Drad are the only people that I'm aware of that have practically unlimited ice. So we're going to go over there in a second, and we're going to steal some more ice, and yeah, we'll figure out what we'll hopefully have this system functioning very soon. Fingers crossed. Why are there melons in here? Right, so here we are. This is Kuth and Drad's base. Now, last I remember, they were working on some form of ice boat racing course, which, oh god, looks like it's coming along. I've not been here in a while, actually. But this looks really cool, actually. I mean, they've done some decent progress on this. Though I don't think they've been on the server for a while. But you can see why they need so much ice. So, this down here is their actual base area. And all of this is their storage. I need to get myself a better storage system. They inspire me. Oh, yes. Those signs are still there, so I guess I'll just, I'll take a stack or two. Yeah. It counts. I've technically still left an IOU there. So I'm just taking a little bit more. Right, back to the base. Bop, 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 bop. Ooh, God. I'm good. I found a magma slime, and it gave me its head. Oh god, that's actually really noisy. Okay, so we have our compressed ice, packed ice, whatever you want to call it. And with the installation of this set of ice flow areas, I guess, we are about ready to... Oh, and of course we need that there. we are about ready to give this a test. Of course, we also need the... I want to get out of this hole, please. No? Oh, boy. There we go. Whoa! Okay. Apparently the server's coping with a little bit of lag today. Give me 1 second, everyone. Alright, we are ready for the first test. The hopper clocks down there have been activated in order to ensure that all of the output is running smoothly. Now all we need to do, and hopefully this should work fine, is put all of this, the stuff that we want to smelt, in this chest, which sounds like it's working fine. Then the coal fuel goes in these chests here, which should, hopefully, mean that everything is going to start working correctly. And yeah, there we go. All of the furnaces are running. Good. And every time those minecarts fill up with 32 items, they will continuously leave the section and then ride across the rails and come back. So all of the furnaces have now been fueled properly, and the minecarts are going to constantly cycle until they are empty, until there is no longer any items in the system. And you can see the item splitter working perfectly well over there. This is fantastic. I'm very happy with how this has turned out, and I just realized that it is nighttime. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for today. I do wish we had a little bit more time. I would like to do some decoration, but we'll have to leave that for the next episode. At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for joining me. Thank you all very much for watching, and we shall see you next time on the World of Madness SMP. Have a very good evening, everyone, and a very good night.